The night my parents presented my sister with a brand new house for her graduation, the room exploded. Applause filled the air, phones were raised, smiles stretched wide with pride. Then my father looked at me and said, "And for you, Aylin, a gym membership." People laughed. Not the uncomfortable kind. Real laughter. Something inside me snapped. I walked out trembling, convincing myself that embarrassment was the worst they could do. I was wrong. A few weeks later, a letter arrived. My name printed cleanly across the front. Inside was evidence that my family hadn't just humiliated me. They'd crossed a line that could destroy my future. And that house, that moment was only the start of everything that followed. My name is Aylin. I'm in my early 30s, working a stable office job that covers my expenses and keeps my life routine. I live alone in a modest apartment in a large city. Nothing luxurious, just tidy counters, peaceful evenings, and a space that belongs to me. Then it started to feel calm. Eliza was the first to break it. She called, her voice playful and light. "So, how's the place? Cozy?" I didn't pick up. Later, she sent a text. A photo of her living room. Polished hardwood floors, tall windows. A caption read, "Still can't believe it's mine." I muted the conversation. My parents tried next. My mother left voicemails asking if I was finished being dramatic. My father sent a single message, "Call when you cool down." I didn't reply. None of it felt like concern. It felt like annoyance that I wasn't stepping back into my role. A month went by. I fell into a routine. Work during the day. Simple meals at night. I bought a cheap plant for the windowsill and watched it grow. It felt like evidence that something in my life was finally moving forward, instead of staying stuck. Then, late one night, my phone rang. Eliza's name lit up the screen. I almost let it go, but something in my chest told me to answer. She was crying. Not exaggerated. Not for show. Real fear. Through broken breaths, she admitted she'd messed up. A reckless mistake. She'd gone to a casino during a trip with friends. She thought she could double her money. She kept betting. She didn't walk away. She lost the house. I sat on the edge of my bed listening. I didn't interrupt. I didn't comfort her either. When she finished, there was a long silence. Then she said, "Mom and Dad are losing it." Of course they were. The calls started the next morning. My parents sounded urgent now. Gentler. Softer. They said things like family supports family and this isn't the time for resentment. They asked if I could help pay a few bills, just temporarily, until everything was sorted out. I stared at the wall and felt something shift inside me. This was it, the moment everything I'd lived through was leading to. And I knew whatever I did next would change everything. I didn't answer them right away. I needed time not to think about money, but about patterns. About how fast their tone had changed. A month ago, I was dramatic. Now, I was necessary. Eliza showed up at my apartment 2 days later. I hadn't given her my address. That alone should have told me everything. She stood in the hallway looking smaller than I remembered, her confidence replaced by desperation. Her clothes were wrinkled, her eyes swollen, her voice shaky. "I just need a place to crash," she said. "Just one night." I let her sit on the couch. I didn't offer food. I didn't hug her. I listened. She talked in circles. About bad luck. About pressure. About how none of this would have happened if our parents hadn't pushed her so hard. Not once did she say I messed up. She stayed the night. Then another. Soon, she treated my apartment like a temporary stop she'd escape soon enough. She ate my food without asking. Used my shower. Left her bag by the door like it belonged there. When I told her she couldn't stay anymore, her expression changed. The panic sharpened. "What am I supposed to do?" she snapped. "Sleep in your car." I didn't raise my voice. "You need to figure it out." She left that night, slamming the door hard enough to shake the frame. The next morning, my mother called in tears. She said Eliza was suffering, that I was being heartless. My father followed with a text reminding me of everything they'd done for me growing up, like their support was a debt I never agreed to repay. After that, things started to feel off. Small details in my apartment didn't add up. Food missing that I knew I hadn't eaten. A blanket folded differently than I'd left it. At first, I blamed myself. Stress can mess with your memory. One night, I noticed the small window in my laundry nook wasn't fully locked. I never opened that window. That's when I set my phone up to record before going to sleep. What I saw made my stomach drop. At 2 in the morning, the window slid open. Eliza climbed in quietly, like it wasn't her first time. She went straight to the kitchen, ate standing up, then curled up on the floor with one of my blankets and fell asleep. I confronted her the next day. She denied it until I showed her the video. Then she broke down. She said she was embarrassed, that she didn't want our parents seeing how bad things had gotten. She said she thought I wouldn't notice. I gave her 1 hour to leave and told her not to come back. That's when my parents stopped asking. They started accusing. They told relatives I was heartless, that I'd abandoned my sister when she needed me most, that I was cold, ungrateful. Only one person pushed back. My uncle. He called and said, "You're not wrong. And they know it. They're just not used to consequences." I wanted to believe that was the end of it. But what I didn't know was that while they were talking about me behind my back, they were already planning their next move. The letter came on a Tuesday. Plain envelope. My name printed neatly, like nothing inside could possibly hurt me. I opened it at the counter, my coffee cooling beside me. It said I owed money. Not a small amount. Enough to make my chest tighten. Enough to threaten everything I'd worked for. The letter listed overdue payments and warned that further action would follow if the balance wasn't resolved. I read it 3 times. Sure, there had to be a mistake. I hadn't taken out any loans. I paid my bills on time. I kept my life boring on purpose. Then I noticed the address on the paperwork. My parents' house. My hands started shaking. I spent the rest of the day making calls, asking careful questions, writing everything down. By nightfall, I knew exactly what had happened. Someone had used my information to open a loan. The money had gone straight into cleaning up Eliza's mess. Rent, utilities, other bills they refused to name. They hadn't asked me. They hadn't warned me. They decided for me. That night, I drove to my parents' house. I didn't call ahead. I didn't need to. I walked up the familiar steps, feeling like I was entering a place that no longer belonged to me. My mother opened the door and froze. "Aylin," she said too quickly. "You should have called." I walked past her into the living room. My father sat on the couch. Eliza stood near the window, arms crossed, jaw tight. I placed the letter on the table. "Explain." My mother picked it up, skimmed it, then looked away. "We were going to tell you." "When?" My voice stayed calm, which surprised even me. My father sighed like I was wearing him out. "Things got out of hand. We needed time. You used my name," I said. "My credit. My future." Eliza scoffed. "You're overreacting. It's temporary." I turned to her. "You don't get to decide that." My mother stepped between us, hands raised. You know how desperate she was. What were we supposed to do? Let her end up on the street? I laughed once. Short, sharp. "So you decided to put me there instead." "That's not fair," my father snapped. "We raised you. Don't you think you owe us something?" That was it. The sentence I'd been waiting my whole life to hear. "No," I said. "I don't." The room went silent. I told them everything. Slowly, clearly. I explained what this could do to me, how it could affect my ability to rent, to move, to live. I told them this wasn't a family argument. It was a serious violation. My mother started crying real tears this time. "We didn't think you'd find out so quickly." Eliza rolled her eyes. "You always make everything about you." I turned back to my parents. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to fix this. Immediately. You're going to handle the payments and close anything opened in my name. If I hear from them again, I will involve the authorities. I'm not threatening you. I'm informing you." My father stood up, anger flashing across his face. "You wouldn't." "I would," I said. "And I won't lose sleep over it." Eliza exploded. "You're unbelievable. You have a good job. A nice life. You could help me. And you're choosing not to." I looked at her and finally saw it clearly. Not confidence. Not entitlement. Fear. "I already helped you," I said quietly. "By stepping aside and letting you face your own choices." She stared at me, stunned. I left without another word. For the next 2 days, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Calls. Messages. Guilt disguised as concern. Accusations wrapped in disappointment. I've always preferred it that way. From the outside, my family seemed flawless. Smiling holiday pictures, crowded dinners, loud laughter, the kind of family people assume is tightly bonded. But behind closed doors, there was a strict hierarchy, and I learned it young. Eliza, my older sister, was the favorite. Things always worked out for her, or at least it looked that way. If she made a mistake, someone fixed it. If she wanted something, it showed up. A new car after an accident. Extra tutoring when school got hard. Excuses offered before anyone questioned her. I was the opposite. The dependable one. The one who didn't require help. The one who could manage. Whenever something went wrong in my life, the response was always the same. "You'll handle it." And I did. Again and again. That graduation dinner finally made the pattern undeniable. The house they gave Eliza was worth about $120,000. Everyone knew. They didn't keep it quiet. They announced it proudly. Eliza pretended to be shocked, but her smile betrayed her. She already knew. She always did. When my gift was revealed, it fit easily in my palm. A gym membership. My mother called it sensible. My father joked about staying fit. Some relatives laughed, sounding relieved it wasn't them. I remember staring down at the table, tracing a scratch in the wood with my finger, forcing myself to breathe evenly. I wasn't angry yet. I was humiliated, reduced, like I'd just been reminded where I stood. Eliza leaned toward me and whispered something about self-improvement if I tried harder. I said nothing. I didn't trust my voice. That's when I realized something important. This wasn't careless. It wasn't accidental. It was intentional. And if I stayed, I'd spend my life being thankful for leftovers. I didn't make a scene when I left that night. I didn't yell or knock anything over. I simply stood, grabbed my coat, and said I was leaving. My mother frowned like I'd caused a problem. My father didn't even look up. Eliza smirked, already soaking in the attention again. The cold night air hit my face as I kept walking until my hands stopped shaking. I sat in my car for a long time, staring at the steering wheel, replaying every laugh in my head. That's when I decided I was done pretending this was okay. Within a week, I found my apartment, small, quiet, mine. I moved without asking anyone for help. I didn't tell my parents where I was going. No announcements, no explanations. I just left. And for the first few days, the silence felt unfamiliar. I didn't reply to any of it. On the third day, I got confirmation that the loan had been taken care of, closed, paid. Again, I didn't ask how. I locked down my credit, changed every password, drew boundaries so clear they couldn't pretend not to see them. That night, my uncle called. "They're furious," he said. "But they're scared too. They know they crossed a line." "What about Eliza?" I asked. "She's angry," he said. "But for the first time, she's also stuck." I hung up and sat in the quiet of my apartment, listening to the low hum of the vent, the city muffled beyond the window. My heart was still racing, but underneath it was something new, relief. A week later, Eliza tried again. She showed up without warning, standing in the same spot she'd stood before. She looked worse, exhausted, worn down. "I just need to talk," she said. I didn't move. "Say it." "They won't help me anymore," she said. "Mom and Dad. They told me I have to figure it out." For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "I can't do this alone," she said. "I can't keep working 2 jobs. I can't live like this." I held the door steady. "You should have thought about that sooner," she snapped. "You think you're better than me?" "No," I said. She left without another word. That was when I understood the power had shifted. Not because I'd won something, but because I'd stopped losing myself to them. And for the first time, they had nothing left to take. After that night, everything went quiet. The loan was officially closed. My credit was secured. No more letters. No more threats hidden behind polite wording. I changed my routines, updated my accounts, and made sure no one could touch my life without my consent again. Eliza stopped showing up. From what I heard through my uncle, she moved into a tiny apartment and picked up extra shifts to cover her bills. No house, no safety net, just consequences. My parents still complained about her, but something had changed. They weren't rescuing her anymore. Not because they'd grown wiser, but because they'd run out of options. As for me, I moved forward. I earned a promotion at work. Nothing dramatic, just more responsibility and better pay. A few months later, I moved into a better apartment. More light, more space, more quiet. I bought a second plant for the window and watched both of them thrive. My parents tried reaching out once, testing the waters with short, careful messages. I didn't respond. Silence felt healthier than any conversation we'd ever had. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't waiting for apologies or closure. I didn't need to prove anything. Walking away didn't destroy my family like they warned me it would. It saved me. I learned that love without limits isn't love, it's permission to be used. Walking away didn't make me heartless. It made me free. If you've ever had to protect yourself from the people who were supposed to protect you, you're not alone. Share your story in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one.